Hello, I'm Alice from SaleHoo and welcome to video 2 in this 3-part series, which we will call How to Find Reliable Suppliers Without Losing the Shirt Off Your Back. Now, I'm glad that you came back to watch this video. It proves to me and to yourself that you are serious about building your own business and that you aren't afraid to do some groundwork that's going to increase your business's success. Now, if you'll remember my last video, we left off after doing some serious searching and doing some real detective work on trying to uncover possible market niches and getting ideas for products that you can sell. And the next absolutely necessary step that you need to take is to do a little bit more digging, because now it's time to find a supplier for some of these products. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how I go about researching suppliers. And you told us in the recent survey that we did that you want to find how to find more trusted suppliers. And I'm going to do this using nothing but free methods. So you don't need to be a SaleHoo member to use these methods and find trusted suppliers. All suppliers that we list in our directory have been put through our strict vetting processes and are safe to use. However, if you want to go beyond the SaleHoo directory, or if you're not a SaleHoo member, then you do need some ways to do background checks on suppliers and ensure that you keep you and your money safe. Okay, so in a minute I am going to switch over to my computer screen and show you exactly how to do this. And to demonstrate how to spot a scammer, I'm going to show you a supplier website, and then together we are going to determine whether it is a legitimate supplier, like the ones that we have on SaleHoo, or if it's a scammer just waiting to jump onto vulnerable sellers. Now, the supplier's company name is Children's Wholesale. So let's have a look at their website, which you can find at www.childrenswholesale.com. Okay, so here we are on the website, and the first thing that I notice about this site is that it's of reasonably high quality. The design is pretty good and everything is nicely laid out. And what this tells me is that the site is fairly well established and it probably has a little bit of money behind it. Most scammers have really poorly made websites with broken links and very unattractive designs. So, this is looking good at this point. However, just keep in mind that, some scammers, they know that you're looking for a good, attractive website. So they invest, $2,000 or however much it costs them to get a good, attractive website design. And they know that that's important to mask their dodgy business going on behind the scenes. So this isn't the only indicator that you can go by. So we're going to look at some more important ones now. So when you investigate a supplier website, one of the first things that you should check is whether they offer safe payment options. And of course, you probably know when we talk about safe payment options, we're talking about credit cards and PayPal. And the reason that these are safe payment options is because if something goes wrong, like your order doesn't show up, then 9 times out of 10, you can talk to your bank or talk to PayPal or your credit card provider and get the money refunded back to you. Now, most reputable suppliers are fine with this policy. They know that PayPal and credit card companies are looking out for buyers, and they understand that it gives buyers security, and that's important for the suppliers as well because they need to encourage people to buy from them. But many scammers will not offer these payment methods. Now, I can see down here on the left that there are icons for credit cards, and this indicates that childrenswholesale.com does accept credit card payments. Now, the reason that I say indicates is because anyone can put these icons on their own website. It's really not concrete proof that they do actually accept these payment methods. And the only way that you can find out for sure is by going through the checkout process. And you don't have to buy anything, of course. You just need to add something to your cart and then work your way through the checkout and just make sure that you actually do get to the point where it says enter your credit card details or enter your PayPal information. And if you see that, then great, that's a really good sign. It's not uncommon for scammers to say something along the lines of, oh, our credit card facilities are being upgraded, so can you please pay by Western Union or by bank transfer? And they might even give you an incentive to pay using one of those methods. Like they might say, I'll give you a 20% discount if you pay today using Western Union. And it's really important that you never ever use Western Union or wire transfers or bank transfers when you order from suppliers, unless you 100% know them and you've had successful transactions with them in the past. And the reason that is because if something goes wrong, then you are completely on your own and you have no option whatsoever to get your money back. And this is why we insist on using PayPal or credit card when you pay for your order. And there are some other safe payment methods that are similar, such as Paymate and Moneybookers or ProPay. And you can use them also, but if you've never heard of a payment provider that your supplier is offering, make sure you do plenty of research before you use them, or just move on, because it's never worth the risk. Okay, so once you have determined whether the supplier is going to offer you a safe payment option, then you can be fairly confident that you can go ahead and place an order with the supplier. However, there are still some checks that you can make to ensure that the supplier really is 100% legitimate. So while you are here on the website, one of the things that you can do is check out their Contact Us page. Now, most websites have a Contact Us page, and it just details how you can contact the supplier if you need to. And this page is really important when you're trying to determine if a supplier is legitimate, because a supplier who lists a lot of contact details are generally seen as more trustworthy. So let's take a look at this Contact Us page. Okay. And the first thing that I notice on this page is the Contact Us form. So you can use this form to contact the supplier without having to go into your own email account, which is kind of handy. Up here there is also opening hours and a toll-free phone number, which is great, and their physical address, which is even better. And many scammers do not list their phone number or their physical address, so this is a really positive sign. Now, something that we recommend doing is taking this physical address and inputting it into Google Maps to check that it is in fact a real address and not just one that a supplier has just made up to sound legitimate. So let me show you how to do that now. So I'm just going to go to Google Maps, and you can get here by going to maps.google.com, and then you just copy and paste the address directly into here. So I'm just going to take this address and put it into the search field in Google Maps. Well, it seems indeed that this is a real address because Google Maps has located it over here where the A icon is. And then over here on the left you can see an image of it. And you can also see that Google has found that Children's Wholesale actually does operate out of this address. So at this stage, I'm feeling pretty confident about the supplier. They offer safe payment methods, they list their contact details, their physical address checks out with Google Maps, and this tells me that they, are indeed a real supplier that I can trust, and it's likely that they won't scam me. But there are a few other things that I could do in order to check them out even further, and these are things that we like to do before we put suppliers onto our SaleHoo directory. So first of all, you could try just giving them a call. And when you call them, what you're looking for is a really professional answer. So you want something like Children's Wholesale, how may I help you? Rather than just something like hello, which is not such a good sign. And while you're on the phone with them, there are a number of questions that you can ask them as well. And these aren't necessarily questions to ask them to check out how legitimate they are, but they're just questions that you'd want to ask a supplier anyway. So I just thought that I'd point them out while we're at it. So a couple of important questions that you can ask. Do you have any account setup fees? Do you have any monthly subscription fees? How much do I need to spend to get a discount on each item? Now, this is really important because something that we always have to stress is that if you want to get the wholesale prices, you need to contact the supplier directly and ask them. And that's simply because a lot of suppliers only list their retail prices on their website. And if you want to get bulk discounts, you've got to email them and they'll tell you the prices, or they'll send you a catalogue or something like that. Next up, what is your minimum order quantity? And if you're not sure what minimum order quantity is, which is it's also referred to as MOQ, it's just a minimum order requirement that the supplier decides on. So they might say you have to spend $100 or you have to buy 100 products before we'll sell to you. And a lot of suppliers don't have any MOQ, but some do, and especially ones that have really big bulk buying discounts. What are your warranty policies is another good question that you can ask. What are your guarantee policies? Kind of the same thing. What are your shipping policies? Who pays import and export tax? That's if you are importing from China or importing from another country. And what are your refund policies? So as I say, these questions aren't necessarily going to tell you if the supplier is legitimate or not, but they are questions that you want to ask a supplier before you go ahead and order from them anyway. And a lot of good suppliers will actually have all this information on their website. Anyway, so another thing that you can do to check out a supplier is use domaintools.com and see how long the site has been registered. And if it's anything less than 2 years, then I suggest that it is not safe to use them. So to show you exactly what I mean, let's take a look at domaintools.com, and you will find this site at whois.domaintools.com. Okay, so this is what it looks like here, and then all you need to do is enter the URL of the site that you're checking out. So in this case it is childrenswholesale.com, and then we're just going to click look up. Now you can find all kinds of information on this site, domaintools.com, but the most important when you are checking out a supplier is you want to see when the website was registered, as I mentioned earlier. So you can do this by clicking the registration tab and seeing the date of when the site was created. And as you can see here, it looks like this site was registered in, created in 1999. I was reading the date backwards. So this is really good because as a general rule, websites that are less than 2 years old are not really seen as trustworthy. So, what is that? 12 years old. So that's a really good sign. Now, there definitely are exceptions to this rule, and there's certainly a lot of companies out there that are less than 2 years old and that can prove themselves as good suppliers, but it's a good rule of thumb if you want to err on the side of caution when choosing a supplier. Now, there are a couple of other checks that you can run to suss out whether a supplier is the real deal. First of all, search their company name in the SaleHoo forums and see if other members have posted any information on them. You can also search fraud sites like scambusters.com and ripoffreport.com, and you can often find useful information on suppliers on these sites if they are scammers. If they're not scammers, then it's very unlikely, obviously, that anything would show up on these sites. Just a quick word of warning on using those sites, though. They do tend to attract a lot of complaints from serial complainers, should I say, and I always take what I read there as a guide only, and I would never personally use that information to make a decision as a whole, because I've seen some really good companies on there be discredited in the past. So just in general, just do take what you read there with a grain of salt. So next up, what you can do is search the supplier name in Google and try adding words like review or scam or fraud. So you'd enter children's wholesale fraud or children's wholesale scam or something like that, and just see what comes up. Okay, so that should equip you with the knowledge that you need in order to determine if a supplier is legitimate or not. Just quickly before we go, let's recap on what we went over today. First of all, you don't need to run these checks when you are using suppliers from the SaleHoo directory. They've already been vetted to our strict safety standards, but you do need to use these checks when you are looking for suppliers outside of our directory, or if you're not a SaleHoo member. Also, well-designed, attractive websites are a good sign of a legitimate supplier, but you cannot rely on this one indicator alone. Always use suppliers who have safe payment options such as PayPal or credit card, and avoid wire transfers or Western Union. If you use these payment options and something goes wrong, you've absolutely got no chance to get your money back. And with safe payment options like PayPal and credit card, you can recover the money fairly easily. Now, if there's one thing that you take away from this lesson today, please let it be that. Always use safe payment options. Next up, check the supplier's contact information. If they have a physical address and a phone number, then that's a really good sign. And if their address checks out in Google Maps, then even better. Also check when the website domain was registered by going to whois.domaintools.com. And if the domain is less than 2 years old, then this is a sign that they are not an established company. Although remember that there are exceptions to this rule. So, if they check out on everything else, but they maybe are 18 months old or 1 year old, then, it's up to you whether or not you're going to go ahead and use them. I personally probably would. Search the company name in the SaleHoo forum or scambusters.com or ripoff.com, and or in a Google search to see if any negative comments come up. And if you're a SaleHoo member who is an active user on our forum, you'll know that we are happy to review suppliers. If you're looking at one that's outside of our directory, we're more than happy to go and run these checks for you. So just post on the forum and let us know. Now, above all else, as I said, just remember to use those safe payment options, because if something goes wrong, you can generally always get your money back. Now, a lot of people get stuck at this point, and this is why I really hope that you take this information on board and keep moving forward towards your business dreams. Now, if you remember in the last video, I mentioned that next week we will be opening the doors for people to get their hands on our brand new e-commerce software called SaleHoo Stores. And with SaleHoo Stores, you can have your own professionally designed site up and running literally within minutes and ready for adding products and playing around with all those finishing touches to make it look pretty for customers. And not only does it take all the technical hassle and time wasting out of setting up and hosting your own site, it makes sure that you can spend more time finding hot selling products and less time managing and messing around with all that technical stuff. And despite what you might think, it's also very affordable, and we want to make sure that the software is available for as many people as possible, so we've kept the price right down. Now, what we're doing next week is actually a special release, and as part of our marketing test, we are going to be offering the premium version of SaleHoo Stores, which is the highest priced and effectively the unlimited version, at the same price that you'd normally pay for just the standard version of SaleHoo Stores. And you'll also get 2 other special bonuses thrown in on top of that, which I'll tell you more about tomorrow. So you will get your chance to get in on this deal soon, But before that, you and I have some very important information to go over about how to get more traffic to your site and to your listings to boost sales. And I did promise that I would make 3 videos, and that third one is coming to you very soon. So keep an eye out on your inbox. So I'll see you in a couple of days, and until then, take care and thanks for watching.